all this for a program for a policy that is probably not going to meet what they're trying to do with it. Like the National Police Federation, which is the RCMP union, they have said themselves, the ban and buyback will, quote, do very little to address the goal of increasing public safety, unquote.
Hey everyone, I'm Franco Terrazzano, Federal Director, holding the fort in Ottawa. I'm here with my colleague and friend Jimbo, our investigative journalist. And look, I say we, but really Jimbo has done a great job keeping an eye on how the feds are absolutely wasting our money on the gun ban and buyback program. You know, this really has the makings of a taxpayer boondoggle. Jimbo, you found that the bill is going up. Why don't you tell us what you found?
Yeah, so to date, we've been billed over $3 million in office costs alone for the bureaucrats running the gun ban and buyback without a single gun purchased to date. You know, just great. So the money's tied to the Firearms Buyback Secretariat, which is an office inside public safety that was quietly set up back in June 2020. The people in there, they're basically in charge of coordinating the actual work of the buyback program. From what we've been able to tell from the documents we've gotten back so far, that means talking to IBM about strange consults, figuring out how to move firearms around the country, that kind of thing, sorting out purchases and challenge procedures, that kind of thing. But tracking their salary costs and their operational costs as the office got going. And to date, it's reached around $3.7 million. 2.1 of that was salaries, while the rest was operational spending. And all of that, while not a single gun has been bought back or purchased to date, while the whole program in the first place has been repeatedly pushed back and delayed and faced all kinds of challenges.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so hold on. $3.7 million spent. Not a single gun bought. Yep. Yeah, sounds like a whole boondoggle in the making, another gun boondoggle for taxpayers in the making. But James, I mean, the $3.7 million that was spent so far, that's just on like the office costs, right? That's not the entire program.
Yeah, that's just the cost tied to that particular office, running the people in there, getting their stuff up underway, getting their work underway. That's all the costs just tied back to them, not to mention the rest of the spending on the program, which is it's just nuts to me. And you're right, it's a complete boondoggle. These costs, all of them from the program, they just keep on piling up and piling up, and the feds keep on charging head on with this program, despite multiple signs it won't actually impact firearms crime in this country. Yeah. Like just this month, we had public safety. They were up in front of MPs at committee, and they were saying to them they had no specific research showing whether or not new gun controls would actually reduce gun crime in Canada. Instead, they were going with a general sense that fewer legal guns will make for safer homes, which is, a great policy basis, a general sense of things. Meanwhile, the parliamentary budget officer, they've estimated the cost of buyback could reach as high as $756 million. And that estimate was back in 2021 and based on incomplete data.
Yeah, so hold on, James. I just want to add that in there, okay? Because look, we've already heard many times that the cost just keeps going up, right? So when the Liberals first promised this back a few elections ago now, they said it was going to cost about $200 million. Then you get the estimate there from the PBO that says, well, hold on, it could reach as high as $756 million. But the PBO was very clear that that's only the cost to reimburse legal gun owners. That doesn't include administration or staffing costs. Then you have a professor from Simon Fraser University that says, well, when you actually add in the entire costs, we're talking about in the billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's just going to and those are just estimates, right? Like these costs, the estimates are going to keep going up. The actual bills are just going to keep on going up. And all this for a program for a policy that is probably not going to meet what they're trying to do with it. Like the National Police Federation, which is the RCMP union, they have said themselves, the ban and buyback will, quote, do very little to address the goal of increasing public safety, unquote. The NPF they also say it would divert personnel and resources and funding away from the actual growing threat of illegal firearms use in this country. On top of all that, Buyback Secretariat, that little office there, they want to expand their workforce as the program gets underway because, got to make sure the bureaucracy expands to meet the needs of the expanded bureaucracy. It's just keep on piling up and piling up and piling up. It's crazy.
The Ottawa Jobs Program coming at the expense of you and I and every other Canadian taxpayer. It's crazy that they're saying, well, it wasn't really based on any specific research, but we actually do have some evidence from the Mounties Union saying not only will this not make Canada more safe, it actually can make Canada less safe by diverting resources from actually getting tough on crime, hiring more police officers, getting more people at the borders to stop the illegal flow of illegal guns coming in from the US, to then diverting those useful resources to then going after law-abiding citizens. Like Jimbo, maybe I'm naive, but I don't think there's going to be too many gangsters showing up in government offices to hand over their guns. No, we're going after law-abiding citizens. So, we have always said from day one, especially after talking to the Mounties Union, talking to the people who are tasked with protecting us day in and day out, we've said, look, this is a very expensive program that is going to be ineffective. It's going to cost us a ton of money, and it's not going to improve public safety. This is more about politics, not public safety. So look, Jimbo, thanks for coming on the show today. We know that we're going to continue to keep an eye on this absolute boondoggle in the making. So Jimbo, thanks again for coming on.
No problem.